I want to welcome everyone. Thank you for registering today. This is going to be a really killer webinar. What we're doing now is we're really introducing everyone to Slingshot and all the value that it can bring your organizations. And hopefully at the end of this webinar, you're like, wow, this is something worth trying. Let me go sign up for a trial and do this myself, because that's how simple that we want this to be for you. So again, with me today is Casey McGuigan, our product owner on Slingshot. That is her email. She basically runs the show on the product. So if you have questions, features, complaints, whatever, shoot her an email. She will respond. And my name's Jason Barris. I'm our developer tools guy here and work on the business tools as well. So I'm pretty excited today to bring you this content. So today's agenda, we're going to look at Slingshot and how it prevents work disruptions, why you want this all-in-one app versus point solutions, how this really helps you with data. Okay, we're going to talk about marketing data today, and why is this solution better than maybe something else in the market that we've tried before? And then we might have time for a little bit of roadmap work, some housekeeping real quick. You can get the slides and the recording of this webinar after the show. Our marketing manager for Slingshot is going to send out an email with those links, and you can review this again and talk to it with your teams. So let's take a look at the marketing analytics landscape. And this is the problem today. And the problem is, if you're beyond the marketing team, it's probably something that you're aware of in the software team or the sales team or any team. Today, marketing tactics and technologies are ever changing. If your CEO says, why aren't we at the top 10 in SEO? Or how come our PPCs aren't performing better? Why isn't our social doing better? You're getting inundated with this every day. The only way to know is through data. But there's so many marketing leaders that don't have the wherewithal. They don't have the data literacy. They don't really know how to start using this data to effectively start making decisions. And this is where this lack of operationalizing data insights comes in. So this is a great stat. I'm going to follow up with a couple other stats throughout the talk today, but 61% of marketers don't use marketing analytics to influence their organization's behavior or actions. And in fact, Casey and I were Friday late in the evening reviewing our Google Analytics metrics on a bunch of videos that we push. So we did a bunch of YouTube videos and how this other content ties in. And we're actually looking at the data, and it gave us some insight. We're like, wow, these are actually performing pretty good. What if we tweak this? Or what if we did this differently? Let's see what that result is. So then it kind of turns into this growth hacking experiment on how can we double these views? How can we go from 3,000 to 6,000 and then maybe 9,000? Or what we've asked the social team to do. How could we get another 1,000 people to sign up to our social digital outlets? Well, you don't really know where you're at today unless you start looking at that data. And that's where tools like this can help. So why is there this problem with data literacy? Most of it is because you don't understand or have access to the data. So it's amazing how many professionals that are running departments today don't have access to their data. Why is that? Is it because you're in a smaller business and the IT department has everything locked down? Are you in a huge enterprise and you don't have authorization or authentication to get it, or you don't even know where the data is stored? Top KPIs and benchmarks are elusive or inconsistent. So if I know from my CEO or from my VP or from my director that we want to increase by 10%, how do I even know what that baseline is? And how can I track it every day or multiple times a day? How can I get it on my mobile phone, maybe when I'm on the road traveling with customers? And then data and insights live in different applications. And this is the big problem that we have today. I might have an Excel spreadsheet. I might have Google Analytics in the cloud, and then we might have a SQL Server database. And all of that is collecting data, maybe not in real time. Maybe one of them's real time, one of them's updated weekly, one of them's updated daily. But then how do I use that information? So this is what happens when we talk about data literacy, driving a data-driven culture. a lot of it has to do with someone championing and cheerleading, getting data, making it ubiquitous to everyone in the enterprise, so everyone has a chance to make better decisions faster. So this is where Slingshot really shines. Slingshot brings forward this tool, and it's sort of this experience where you stay in your flow, right? So you might be thinking right now, okay, we're doing some data-driven decisions, but they're not in context. So being in your flow is all about staying in context. So what that means is, I just got a discussion with someone on the team, and they posted a spreadsheet or some new metrics or a link. And now I want to report on that or do a dashboard on that. I can do that all within the flow of my work. I don't have to leave this application, jump into another application, click some other button, and then forget where I have to go back. How many of you right now have, 100 tabs open in Chrome or Edge and 50 applications open, and you're going to eventually reboot your computer and forget about half of what you were doing when the day started by lunchtime? So by keeping data-driven decisions in context, you can analyze and understand your data faster. You can get to insights faster because this is collaborative. You can ask questions. And then, of course, that means that as an organization, as an enterprise, as a team, you're committing to making these data-driven decisions, which is really, really important. And this is where we go to in terms of that time lost, where if I'm using a point solution, and what I mean by a point solution is, let's say I'm using a tool like Asana. And then in Asana, I'm in the flow working with my team and I'm doing a project management thing. And then there's a little discussion pops up. It says, check out this dashboard, and that's coming in from Slack, right? So I open up Slack and there's a link to something in Power BI or in Domo. So all of a sudden I'm in 3 completely different applications. Not only did I lose my flow of where I was at, but inside Slack, there's no context to what the heck we're talking about here. And then I end up in Power BI, and 9 times out of 10, it's asking you for your Office login. Can you authenticate? Here's my 2-factor authentication. By that time, you've already lost a minute, 2 minutes. How many times does this happen during the day? So that's where we look at Slingshot, is bringing forward this collaborative digital work experience platform that kind of trumps all of the niceties of these point solutions into a single solution that really drives that productivity. And now when we think about marketing channels and how these are really driving all your sales, look at the sales lifecycle. First of all, everyone has seen the funnel. So what's at the top of the funnel, what's in the middle of the funnel, and what's at the bottom of the funnel. So of course, leads, and where are these leads coming in? This is what you're going to see today, how you can organize that better, manage that better in your applications, because you've got social, email, PR, PPC. At Infragistics, we have a data-driven culture. We meet monthly with the product marketing team, the product management team, and the CEO, and we go through all of our metrics, all through Slingshot. And the reason we do it through Slingshot, because it can bring all of these pieces together into dashboards that everyone understands, anyone can use. Anyone can create their own dashboards, but we can also have in-context discussions. We can share data, and we can really drive the business forward with that data-driven culture, which is ultimately helping us win more deals. And of course, in the accounts, it's retaining and growing those accounts. So anyone that's in a marketing team understands this. And so in order to see how this works in action, I'm going to hand it over to Casey. She's going to share her screen, and we're going to see a demo of Slingshot and how you can really unleash the power of your marketing data. Take it away, Casey.
You can hear me?
Yes.
All right, and share my screen. Okay, and you are seeing Slingshot?
Looks great.
All right, awesome. So for this demo, I'm going to actually focus on Facebook data and Google Analytics, but just to give you, again, a quick kind of high-level overview of Slingshot. When you come into the product here, you can see that you have your personal area up here on the top left. where you have an overview for yourself, a concept of your tasks, content, and analytics. And then what we have is different workspaces and projects that you can collaborate with your different team members on. So within our marketing workspace, we have projects like our content calendar, our SEO management, and our PPC management. So if I dive into the PPC management, you have an overview for this project that kind of gives you the project start and due date. You can see the different people working on the project and kind of like a high level overview of the tasks within there, as well as being able to pin really important key information about this project that you want your members to kind of have top of mind. So as you move over within each workspace and project, you have tasks where you have your project management functionality in here, where you have your Kanban views and your list view in here. You can have threaded discussions as well. So anybody that's a member of this project or workspace can come and see the transparent conversations that are going on within here. And then you have your content that allows you to bring content from any of your cloud providers, any URLs, images, anything together in one view. So this is really useful for eliminating the need to go and find something in OneDrive and going through all these different folders and realizing that it's not in OneDrive and needing to go to SharePoint. So it allows you to keep order with kind of like the chaos of content that inevitably happens. So it keeps your content in here in context to specific initiatives and projects. And then the analytics tab, where we're going to spend most of our time in here right now. So within Slingshot, you have a full, basically business intelligence engine that allows you to connect directly to data sources, create dashboards, and then take those insights and go directly into collaborating with your teams and creating tasks. So eliminating that app switching that Jason kind of just covered, where I'm looking at the data in Slingshot, I'm collaborating in Slingshot, and I'm creating actions off of them in Slingshot. So going into the demo here, if I want to come up to this add a dashboard, and I'm prompted to select my data source. So here's where connecting to your marketing data really happens. So behind the add dashboard, you can see that we have Facebook connector, Google Analytics, Google Ads, Twitter, or LinkedIn, and Instagram. So for this, I'm going to use Facebook first. So I have some kind of sample data within my personal Facebook. I'll select this data, and I'm in the visualization editor. So I have a dashboard in mind that I know I already want to create. So I'm going to come up here. I know I want to create a combo chart. Within the insights, you can see all of the available fields that start coming that you have in your Facebook platform. And I want to actually pull date. I'm going to pull date over, and then I want to see what we've spent. And with that spend, what our reach was. So once I have the fields that I need for my chart, you can see my chart populates over here on the right-hand side. I'm going to change the spend to a currency. And then I'm going to give this chart a title, versus spend versus reach. And then once I'm happy with my dashboard, I'll hit this check up here. And now I have my first kind of visualization within this dashboard. Some other things that are very popular that you want to be tracking with your Facebook data would be your results. So if I come up here again, I'm going to come back into my Facebook connector, select this data, and this time I'm going to create a spline chart. I'm going to pull my date back over again so I can see my results over time. And some of the results within Facebook would be your page likes. which you can see here, would be your clicks. And maybe let's do your link clicks as well. And here, I'll change this to results. And now you can see over time, as you are spending and what your reach is, what are the results that you're also generating here. So as well, now taking this a step further, what you want to look at through Facebook is probably how your campaigns specifically are performing. So if we want to look at maybe the click-through rate, which is a key metric for looking at really any ad that you're running, we can come up here and we'll create a bullet graph to look at the campaign. So if I come over here to campaign name, and I want to look at the click-through rate, spelling, let's do this. And pull over click-through rate. You can see how for my different campaigns here, the click-through rate is different for each. So I actually want to turn this into a percentage. So I'm going to come to this little function button. I'm going to take my click-through rate and divide it by 100 and give it a name. So this turns into a percentage. And then I'll come into the field properties, click percent, and I want to show two fractions. And now you can see the click-through rates for these different campaigns. So in here, it'd be great to have where you can set a max goal for yourself. So you probably don't want your click-through rate, it's very hard to get to 100, but if you had a goal to get to 100, or if you wanted it to be for an ad, a good click-through rate on Facebook is, let's do around 3. Oh, that's not what I meant, sorry. So you can see how now your click-through rates for your different campaigns are climbing towards your 10% goal maybe that you have. So we'll change this to click-through rate by campaign and hit the check up here. And now what I want to do is, I have all this Facebook data in here, but just looking at the Facebook data is only part of the story. Now I want to see kind of what happens when somebody comes from the spend that we have on Facebook into clicking on our ad to our website. So right in this dashboard, I'm going to come up here to add visualization again. And using kind of like our fake staging data, I'm going to pull in Google Analytics right into this view. So again, this is great for eliminating that app switching where I don't have to go from looking at my insights in the Facebook portal ads manager and then into Google Analytics to see what happens there. I'm going to pull all of this stuff into one single view. So if I select this data here, I know that I want to track traffic for the source of Facebook. So I'm going to come add a filter where my source contains, so I'll do a filter by rule where my source contains Facebook. And then what I want to see is the sessions that are generating. So I'm going to do a combo chart so I can look at the sessions and the bounce rate in one chart. So I will do sessions. And then I'm also going to add bounce rate. And then, oh, I forgot my month. And you can see again, once I have the fields needed for this visualization, it'll populate over here on the right-hand side. By default, there is a date range of the last 30 days, but I actually want to expand this out. And I want this to be continuous for the last 365 days. So I'll hit apply. And then as well, I kind of want to change this into a percentage here. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to do my bounce rate divided by 100, make this into a nice percentage. And then I'm going to hide this other field. So you can see that I can make this not visible with this check. And now I'm looking at my, change this to 2. Sorry, I want this to be a percentage. So now I'm looking at the sessions that I'm generating from Facebook and the bounce rate of those users that are coming right from Facebook. So I'll change this title to sessions bounce rate. And then I'll hit this check up here. And you can see as I continue to add these different visualizations to this dashboard, they're all kind of going to the same size, but you have free range as well into how big or small you want these different charts to sit. So you can see that I can make this one longer and this one bigger if I wanted to. And then your dashboard doesn't have to stop there. So I don't have fake data for leads and stuff, but what we do next is then you connect directly into your CRM or whatever's generating leads for you. And then for example, if it's Salesforce, you connect to Salesforce right in your dashboard here. And you are then pulling in leads that are coming right from Facebook as well. And then in Salesforce, you're pulling in opportunities that are generated out of Salesforce. So it's pulling together an entire view of your complete start to finish of your customer journey for Facebook in here, using all these different sources. So I am, for the most part, happy with this dashboard right now. So I'll do a Facebook analysis or something, give this a name, and I'm going to save it in our PPC management project. Now from here, awesome, I built this. The team members on my project now get an alert that I've shared this dashboard with them. But now let's even take it a step further. So from this click-through rate campaign down here, I see that the page likes are generating a much higher click-through rate than other campaigns that we're launching. So me as maybe a manager, I'm not sure if that is standard with the industry standards. So I need to ask, I think, Don about that. So I'm going to come to this overflow here, and I'm going to go right into a discussion from this dashboard. And I want this to be within my PPC project. And this is going to be insights around social, or well, Facebook. So I'm going to create this discussion. And once I go from, you can see that within, now still in Slingshot, I went kind of from the analytics tab over to discussions. It's pulled in a live link right to the dashboard. And I want Don to let me know if what he sees in the industry is typical with your click-through rate being higher on a follow me campaign versus your other type of ads. So Don gets a notification. You can see how on top of it Don is. And he has a live link now right to this dashboard. As well, I could take this here and I can also export this as an image and annotate this and give him very specific even direction into what exactly I am looking at in this dashboard. I can copy this over and then I can send him even screenshots of annotated images as well in here. Don's going to look into this and get back to me, which is great. So say Don figures out that no, it's not standard. We really need to go in and look at the different campaigns that we are running for maybe our blogs. So Don is typing that away to me and going from the insights into collaborating with your team. Now here, I can take action on this. So from this message, I am going to create a task. And this is a task for social. And he needs to now do more analysis on this. So from creating this task, it's pulled in the message that I created the task off of. as well as I can come back here and I can attach the dashboard for him. I'm going to assign this to him. I'm going to do a Facebook analysis research. I'm going to give him a start date and a due date. And I'm going to let him know that this is also high priority. Since we're spending money, we want to make sure that we're optimizing. So I'll hit create here. And now that task lives right within this project. So a really nice story and something that we do daily internally is looking at our data, collaborating around it, and really taking action right there. So things that could have taken maybe double or triple the time, I've saved now in with using Slingshot and having all of these different assets all in one. Yeah, and I think that, yeah, Don's in here. Awesome, he's sharing more insights.
A lot of insights from Don.
Yeah, he's very on top of it.
He's pretty pumped.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I guess with the dashboard, then I can connect into any data source. I'm not limited to just my Facebook data.
Nope. We also support LinkedIn, Instagram. We have Google Search Console coming in a few weeks, which is really exciting. Your Google Ads, Salesforce Marketing Cloud, Google Analytics, and then we have more and more coming. So in addition, we're on a release cycle of every around 6 to 8 weeks, and we're constantly pushing out new data sources in there. So we have things like YouTube coming and much more for our users.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and there was a question that, is it extra for data sources like you had in there, or can anyone just create a dashboard with that list that you showed of all the different data sources?
Yep, no additional fees or anything like that. Anybody can come in and start creating dashboards with those data sources. Most of them are any of your kind of marketing focused ones are very easy to connect to as well. So clicking on Facebook, it navigates you out to the Facebook login page, authenticate, and you're in. And it's the same thing for all of the other providers that I kind of listed out there.
Okay. Very cool. All right. That was the couple questions that we had. Let me go ahead and reshare my screen. And yep, let's continue. Let me go to screen 1 and share. All right. So thank you for that demo. So now what's still to come? So of course, Slingshot is a newer application. On March 9th, we're actually releasing it as a fully supported, released product. It's been in a public preview for quite a while now. We've gotten tons of feedback. So we're continuing to add capabilities that you need to be productive in your business, especially when it comes to key departments like marketing. And you could see by those data sources that we showed, being able to start making better decisions, pushing forward a data-driven culture is something that you can do immediately. So in the next few months, you'll see things like our data catalog rolling out, groups and sharing, a bunch of new tutorials, especially some of those charts that you saw, like how do we do that? You'll get videos from Casey or myself on those capabilities, templates. So I maybe have a marketing project and I want to just duplicate it for the next project. All of that will be in there. And of course, the big thing is this goals and strategies. So when we think about those KPIs and goals for our department, how can we make sure we're on track? How can Slingshot help us be accountable to our team, transparent to the organization, and use data to make better decisions? So with that, get started today at slingshotapp.io. You can sign up with your Google account or your Office 365 account and get going today. We'd love to hear your feedback. And we'd also love to see you start creating that data-driven culture with Slingshot today. So let me see, was there any other questions that popped up between now and the end? Nope.
There
looks
was
like
one, yeah.
Oh, you got it already?
Yes. So Slingshot is available for you as a mobile, desktop, or web application. And then any training questions, onboarding help that you need, please do reach out to me, kcm@slingshotapp.io. You can email as well. And then we will also, in our follow-up, we'll be sure to share a link to our YouTube channel that has tutorials as well. Yeah.
And then is there a data frame for analytics for Facebook? Not sure what you mean by data frame, but everything you just saw was Facebook analytics. So that was actually pulling in Facebook analytics. So all the dashboards that you just saw were from Facebook analytics.
Mm-hmm.
So it's simple drag and drop. You connect in, Facebook presents it as sort of a cube, a hierarchical view of all of the data munged together based on your sites, your social sites, and then you can, produce dashboards based on those. Okay, cool. Looks like that's it. I want to thank everyone for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you in the next webinar on Slingshot. Thanks again, Casey.
Thank you.